Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Kenn. Kenn's from Utah in the USA. So let's see what Kenn has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello. Hello Kenn, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you so much. My God, thanks so much for taking the time for the interview.
No, thank you. Thank you very much.
Right, am I saying your name right? Is Kenn or Kenn?
Kenn.
Okay, Kenn. Right, Kenn, so just before, sorry. Right, so just, just before we start the game, Kenn, tell me where you're from.
I am from Stockton, Utah, in the United States.
Amazing. And what's the best part of living over there, in your opinion?
The fact that I can see all of the stars at night. There's not a lot of light pollution.
Oh, wow. So what's the population in the city? It's a big population or not that much?
The town I live in, the town I grew up in, is about 500 people.
No way.
Yeah, I'm close to Salt Lake, so it's like 45 minutes. So it's not really far, but it's far enough away that it's country living.
You know what? I had a few guests already from Salt Lake City on the show. At least three or four, I think. Yes, I had a few guests from there. And what do you do for a living, Kenn?
A few things. One, I'm a hairstylist. For another, I'm actually an intuitive reader, which means I have some psychic abilities and am a spiritual advisor for people.
Amazing. So through the game, I would like to explore a little bit about it, if you don't mind, so we can talk a little bit about it.
Yep.
But before we start the game, actually it's visible. I can see these beautiful tattoos that you have around your face and around your body as well. Tell me a little bit about your tattoos.
So most of my tattoos are to do with my spiritual path, which is being a spirit worker or shaman in the Northern traditions. So the traditions pre-Christian Europe of Northern Europe. So a lot of things are Celtic, like Celtic or Norse Anglo-Saxon. So this one here is a blue antler that represents the red stag of the British Isles. Here represents the roots of the world tree. I've got a bind rune here that is personal to me. We have some Celtic knotwork here. This here is actually from, it's a rock carving inside of Newgrange, which is a site in Ireland.
Amazing, amazing. And how old were you when you had the first tattoo?
I was 21 when I had my first tattoo.
And which one was that?
It's been covered up since. It's actually, it's been covered up by this bear, but it was underneath it.
I see. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's a little tiny sun.
And what was the meaning at the time of this tattoo?
So the funny thing about that is that it was a Celtic design. It was a Celtic sun, and at that point I was very LDS. I was very Mormon, and so I really didn't have much of a connection to my ancestry, save it being my ancestors who came here to be Mormon. So beyond the Christian part of my ancestry, I didn't really get it. I didn't really have a connection, but it's funny to me that was my first tattoo and it was Celtic.
Amazing. Very good. Very good. Kenn, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yes. One question.
Sure.
Do you need me to turn my camera or is this okay?
I see you perfectly. I see you very perfectly. Yeah. Just the light as well. You're just perfect.
Perfect.
Right. So welcome to William and the Magic Box. Oh. What's that? What you drinking?
Oh, just my coffee. It's just coffee.
You know what? I had dinner already. In London now it's 7:30. I already had my dinner.
It's been a long week. I had my booster shot and it kicked my, so it's been a long week of, getting past that. But yeah, it's good though.
Good.
So coffee.
Very good, very good. Right, so I'm just gonna play some music now just for us to move a little bit before the first question, okay? Let's do it. Right, Ken, ready for the first question?
Yes.
Let's do it. Just before I pick up the first question, through the game, if there is a question that you don't have an answer for, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? It's all very friendly, right? Let's do it, Ken. The first question for you is, what is the worst thing somebody can say on a first date, in your opinion?
So I've watched some of your episodes, obviously, and that question I wasn't ready for. Oh God. So for me, like the worst thing someone can say to me personally on a first date is, so I did some Facebook stalking of you. That's I think the worst thing they can say to me, because I never quite know what they found, you know, and it throws me off a little bit. And it's like, we all know we've done we all know we've Facebook stalked the person we're with, but let's not bring it up. Why don't you can just say, hey, like, are you interested in, full well knowing I'm interested in it. But it's just so bad for me to hear, so I did some Facebook stalking, and that kind of turns me off.
It feels like a bit an interview, isn't it? You start like in a formal interview.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't send you my resume. I'll get it and send it to you. Yeah.
Before we start the date, let's get my resume so we can just have a look around to make sure that I can go to the next step.
Yes. Yes.
Funny one, very funny. Next question, Ken. Let's do it. Right, before the next question, so tell me a little bit about your career as a hairstylist.
You know, I changed careers in my early 30s and went back to school to be a hairstylist when I lived in Portland, Oregon. I now currently live in Utah, where I grew up, but when I lived in Portland, my partner at the time owned a hair salon, and I worked for a big retailer, and it was, those hours are ridiculous. And I would get up and leave the house at 4:30 a.m. and not come home until 11:30 at night, and that was 6 days a week. And so, you know, he asked me, like, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I've always wanted to do hair. So we worked it out. I went to school. We owned a salon, and I love it. It's one of my outlets for my creativity. So I try not to overwork myself with it, because I don't want to burn out of my creativity. And I think the hardest thing about being a hairstylist is people. I don't think it's anything about doing hair. I think that's probably the hardest thing about doing any job, is making sure that you're interacting with people on a way that feeds them, but also feeds you. And so for me, the clients I have are the clients that I love and that I adore and that I want to spend time with. And it just so happens that at that moment, you know, I'm compensated for making them, you know, hopefully feel as beautiful on the outside as they do on the inside.
Very good. I love the answer. Amazing. Right. Next question for you is, if you could stay any age for the rest of your life, what age would that be and why?
Oh, Lord. That's a great question. You have good questions in that little box.
Yes.
Yeah, they're amazing. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that I haven't gotten there yet, but I think when I hit 50, that's where I would like to stay. I'm in better physical shape now than I have ever been in my life. Wow. And I'm going to continue that. And so by 50, here's the thing. My goal is by 50 to be able to be a go-go dancer for like at least one night at a gay club, right? That's my goal. Wow. So I want, I think 50 is a good age, because you're smart enough to like not be a dumbass and make huge mistakes. And you're smart enough to also really enjoy the things in life and every moment that you have. And then hopefully I'll be in good physical shape, and I want to stay that way.
Amazing. I just hope you're gonna let me know before. I would like to receive a ticket for that night. I would like to be there in the audience, clapping, and see you go dancing. Okay?
Thank you. You got it. I will send you one.
Can't wait. Okay? Deal.
Deal.
Next question. Right, Ken. Next question for you is: what is the one food you could eat for the rest of your life?
I love cream of wheat. So it's like, do you know what cream of wheat is? It's a breakfast cereal kind of thing that we have here. It's like
Porridge? It's like porridge or not?
Yeah. It's like porridge, but not oatmeal, but close. So it's really fine grained. Yeah. So that's one thing that I love, and I've loved. It actually has so many memories for me growing up. Coming to the house I live in now has been owned for 4 generations by my family, and my grandparents raised 6 kids in this like 3-room house, and my grandparents used to feed me cream of wheat when I would stay the night there. So I would say cream of wheat is a very good food that I could eat forever.
Oh, and behind there's some sentimental feelings behind. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I'm an emotional eater, which is so yeah. If I can tie an emotion or a memory to food, let's just pray that I can't get a hold of something a lot, because I will go back to that memory through food. Absolutely.
And do you like cooking, Ken? No, it's not your.
I'm horrible. I'm a horrible cook. It's very bad. It's very, very bad. If I'm trying to, I will bake gluten-free all day, because my father, it's better for him and that I'm gluten-free, but I'll bake that. I will throw potatoes, carrots into like an Instapot or a crock pot and let them cook all day. But as far as being a chef, no. I add too many ingredients in, and then it screws everything up.
Good. Welcome to the club. I'm not very cook at all. I doing the lockdown to them last year. That's when I started to be more adventurous, because they had no other option. So I started to kind of do very, very basic thing, but I cannot consider myself as couldn't cook like for a friend for a long meal, like a not nice meal. But some basic food I can kind of play a little bit with.
You know who I love? I love, and I got one of her cookbooks, is Nigella. She's a famous chef, a cook in England, and I love her. And she made these, this is the one thing I can make, and they're greasy as all, but it's so good. Okay, I shouldn't say that, but it's so good. They're like little, you take mozzarella, like fresh mozzarella, and put it between 2 pieces of bread, deep fry it, and then you put your like spaghetti, like your pasta sauce over top of it. Oh wow. My God, it is so good. And I can make that, and that's if I'm trying to impress someone. But nowadays, most people are like, that's really kind of unhealthy with all that grease and cheese, don't you think? And I'm like, no, it's tied to an emotion. It's great.
Amazing. Actually, now just give me an idea now to kind of try that out a little bit. That sounds very simple to do. It's not very difficult to do, is it? No.
So easy.
Good.
So easy.
Next question, Ken from Utah. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me a little bit about your spiritual career, your gifts. Talk me a little bit through about it.
Sure. So, I call myself a rune walker because I don't like any of the other labels that are out there for what I do, and my spiritual path kind of came really came into focus probably about a little over a decade ago, when I found a very good friend and mentor of mine, Ingrid Kincaid, while living in Portland, and she connected me to my ancestral roots, basically. So most of my ancestry DNA will show that I am from Wales, Ireland, Scotland, and a little bit of Norway. So that really connected me onto my path as a spirit worker in the Northern traditions. Now, having gotten onto that path and starting to work with the runes of Northern Europe, so that would be the Anglo-Saxon Futhark or the Elder Futhark, those beings really helped me open my gifts as a psychic. So for me, like, for example, when I'm done here with this interview, which thank you again for reaching out. I love this. I am going to do readings for people in Salt Lake City. So what can happen? Anything from dead loved ones can come about, and I can connect with them, to we're really looking at, if people want to make changes or like look at for instance, am I going to find a new job? Well, I can toss the runes, which are, sigils or symbols that have meaning and their own kind of essence and being. And what we do is we kind of pick up the thread in their life that is that thread about them having a job and working, right? And we can talk about, if they continue doing the same things they're doing, this is most likely what will happen. But if they really want to change their life, if they want to change what they're doing, this is what this is how we can kind of look at that. So I really believe they're beings, the runes are beings that can help transform people's lives, just like they've, transformed and continue to transform mine. So a lot of things can happen with that. I also work with people on an energetic level. So I do some energy healing, a lot of energy movement to help refocus people, to help kind of cleanse them of their energy and the things maybe that we're holding on to. I can also kind of find in their body where they're anchoring different resentments or traumas or different things like that, and then we can work on those in that way.
I see. And most of your patients, the people who comes after you, they're more ladies, men, or it's very mixed up?
You know what? It's quite a good mix. I do have at the moment probably a few more women than men, and but I serve, and not just like a heathen or pagan community. I have Christian clients. I have clients from all different faiths, because when it comes down to it, each faith, I believe, is just one way to get to the divine. And if we can help each other get to the divine, then I think we're going to be that much better off.
You just said something very interesting that I totally agree with you, Ken. I think nowadays people, of course, you're being raised in different religions, you have our path, thing that we always believe. But I believe nowadays, even though you can see out there a lot of closed-minded people regarding religion and other topics as well, but I believe that people, they are more approachable now regarding religion, they're more respectful as well. As you said, people, they come sometimes look for help or support, even from different areas that you never thought would come to you for some reason. And sometimes you get surprised how much they are more kind of open-minded regarding religion or about beliefs as well. You know what I mean? I think nowadays more spiritual, they are more connected with their own self, you know what I mean? Their own energy. I've got goosebumps now talking about that. But I believe that
I agree.
The energy, I think they're connecting people more. They're not focused anymore in their religions or how they've been raised or how they've been, you know what I mean? For example, I grew up in a Christianism, you know what I mean? And I believe in God, I have my thoughts, my beliefs, but I'm very open. When I talk to someone like a different religion, different background, different beliefs, I just feel fascinating because all of them, in the end of the day, they're gonna come from the same path. This beautiful energy that attracts people. Do you know what I mean? That's what I believe.
I agree with you. I think the one thing that I've always, even in teaching, even in teaching my classes about the runes, and working with people, the one thing that I was shown is that we have 3 ways of knowing. So we have our intellect, we have our emotion, which for me sits right around my heart, and we have our instinct, which sits in our lower gut, right? So for me, this thing is really overactive. But there's also a way to know something by knowing it like through your emotional center and through your instinctual center. A lot of times nowadays, I believe we're taught that you only trust your gut if something's wrong. Like, oh, you know, you'll have a stomach ache if something's wrong. And so you follow that. But like, my question to people is, what does your gut feel like when something's right? And most people think about it and they have no idea what that feels like because we're not taught to listen to our gut unless something's wrong. So your gut can also tell you when something's right. I had a very good friend of mine, a very good therapist friend of mine, told me, she goes, if your brain tells you, I can't figure out this problem or something, trust your brain. Move the energy of that problem to your heart or to your gut and let those parts of your body figure it out because they have a better capacity to understand than your brain does.
Very interesting. Very good. Next question. Ready?
Yes.
Right. Good question now. What is the most memorable lesson you learned from your parents?
Well, my parents have always been hard working and selfless and gave anything so that my sister and I could have anything we wanted. So they were very good examples of really good supportive parents that provided structure. So I think I would have to, I would go with that. I think it's been very interesting, you know, my mom passed away about a week before the COVID lockdown began in 2020. And it was very unexpected. And I think it was actually COVID with the symptoms that she had, but back then we didn't know. So she always held her. I mean, no matter what, she was able to like just be solid and strong in the moment. And I really feel like that, although it took its toll on her in life, that was probably one of the biggest things that my parents showed me, and hopefully that I've been able to adapt or add into my personality and into the way I do things, is to be strong in the moment when I need to be strong and not fall apart.
So you have just one sister?
I have 2, but one passed away when she was 6 months old, and I was 4 or 5 when that happened. But I have a younger sister who's about she just turned 45, so she's a year and a half younger than me. Yeah.
Amazing. What's the biggest similarity between you both, and what's the biggest difference?
Our biggest similarity is the fact that we're both stubborn as all. It's true. Like we're it's funny because we're really opposites on like. So have you ever had your like zodiac birth chart done? Have you ever had that? So the lady who did mine, it's super interesting and I love it. I would recommend, like, if you know someone well, do it, but who does it well. But the way she sits in my birth chart is in direct opposition to me, and that made complete sense as to how we function in life together. And like, if you believe in soul contracts, I don't know that I do, but she's there to bring this direct opposite energy into my life and to challenge me and to be the polarity. And so we can go at it like no other, but don't step in between us. Like, don't go at my sister really, because I got her back, and she's fiercely defensive of me. Like one time, so we both worked as bartenders once at a bar, and there was a gentleman who came in who used, I think it's antiquated, but the term fag in terms of a cigarette, right?
All right.
And she was a patron while I was bartending, and she had already had a few drinks, but I'm like, no, where he's from, that's what that means. It's not a bad word. She was not having it. Man, I had to kick her out of the bar before she kicked that guy's.
Shouldn't let it go easily.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, nowadays I would have had my phone, I would have taped the whole thing. I would have recorded the whole thing, but I didn't have a phone back then.
Funny. I have a sister as well. It's fun because we are very different, the opposite side. We are literally the opposite. You have no idea. When my friends meet my sister, they go like, oh my God, William, I would never, personality way, you'd never say she's your sister. Never, like the million years, because we are so different. But at the same time as well, as you said, you are very caring. You have this connection of caring about each other, always have. But
Yep.
We are very different, very totally different.
Yes.
Next question, ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Ken, before the next question, tell me what's the most challenging part of living in your hometown, in your city?
Getting laid is the most challenging thing. While everything still works, right? I'm in my mid 40s, so while everything still works, it would be nice. So when I grew up in the town I live in is the town I grew up in. When I grew up, there was 300 people. Now there's 500. We're only like 45 minutes from Salt Lake, but my schedule doesn't always allow me to meet people. It's very hard sometimes to, and I don't mean just for sex, but like to spend time with people on like dating. Like it's very difficult. I mean, there's the other interesting thing for me about where I live is that the gay community is not super solid. They're not like, it's almost like they're the gay friend in the group of straight people or whatever. And so we don't necessarily come together as a cohesive gay community in the smaller community that I live in. And that's always funny to me. But so dating is very difficult when you want to, and when you want to get laid.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, don't move to the country unless you're partnered already.
Next question for you is: if you were to raise a child, what are the most important things would you like them to learn?
The most important thing I would like them to learn is that they need to listen to themselves and listen to their own body when it tells them what's happening, for them to know their own voice, which has taken me, a lifetime to figure out. And it's always evolving too. And like, I would like them to know that. I would like them to know that they have a much more of a team support behind them than just the physical world. And that there is much more to this life than just the physical realm. But that's the gift. The physical realm is our gift, and that's how we can manifest our desires. That's how we manifest, love and creativity and passion and spirituality. They're all manifest through our physical life. So I would like them to have a healthy balance of that. It took me, I would like them to also know that it's okay to follow their passion, and not to make their passion their source of livelihood would be a great thing for them. It took me, so last year, actually it was a year ago, I found out I had cancer. And so I had 20% I ended up having to have 20% of my tongue removed to remove the cancer. And I think at that point, when I found out I was going to have that, is when I started my TikTok, which is now taken down, but I started my TikTok because I wanted to be able to share my passion for singing and do it in a way that was completely kind of anonymous. And it was just me getting it out there in case they had to take more of my tongue than planned, and I wouldn't be able to do it again. So I would really want my children to know that go after your passion when you feel it, because you may not get a second chance.
See, very good point. And regarding the cancer, you're already completely out of the situation or completely cured?
So far, so the cancer I had is called a squamous cell carcinoma, and it was on my tongue, and it can be a very aggressive cancer, but my doctor's very good, and he thinks we caught it all on time. I go back every 3 months to have a checkup, and so far everything is great. No cancer. I was lucky I did not have to go through chemotherapy or radiation. They took out almost 40 of my lymph nodes in this side of my neck, and none of them had cancer. So I feel very lucky. I've had a friend that since then who has passed away from the same type of cancer. So every day I feel very lucky to be here.
Very good, Ken. Very good. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you. Next question. Let's do it. Next question for you is, if you could be a character in a movie, who that would be and why?
Ooh, that is a can I change it to a TV show?
Absolutely, certainly you can.
So okay, I haven't watched all of the shows because there's like, I don't know, 16 seasons or something, but the TV show Supernatural has one of the lead characters, Dean. I would love to be Dean. He's just cool, and like he has that really, okay, I find myself attracted to that little bit of cocky masculinity that comes across, and he has that, and I think he has, he has the balls to try things that maybe are risky, and I really like that about that character, and I think he's super sexy and like has a ton of sex appeal. So I would love to be that character. Yeah.
And
yeah.
What is his superpower in the show?
So he doesn't he doesn't really have one. They're hunters of the supernatural. So they hunt down the bad guys.
I see. I got it.
Yeah.
I heard about it. Never watched it, but I heard about it. It's quite popular, isn't it? It's quite big.
It is. And he's, he's not ugly, and I'm not going to kick him out of bed.
Good one. Very good. I hope the actor is watching this interview now. He's going to be like, oh,
yeah,
I need to come to Utah for a consultation or something.
Yes. And I like, your wife is very pretty, but you can leave her home. I'm just kidding. She can join in. I consider myself pansexual. So I don't, if I'm attracted sexually, then great. And if I'm not, that's fine too.
Very good. Good one. Next question. Right, before the next question, as you mentioned about being gay, did you always have the support of your family regarding being gay, or not really?
So that's a very good question, and one that so growing up Mormon and growing up LDS, it was never accepted as a way to live, right? It still really isn't. You can't be a member of the church and be gay practicing. So I never grew up thinking that it was right, that it was okay. So when I finally kind of came to terms with it and realized that I was, most of my friends, when I came out to them, they were like, "Oh, thank God, we didn't think you would ever get there." And so, are you familiar with Matthew Shepard?
Not really.
So back in like 1998 in Wyoming, there was a young man who was tied to he was a young gay man who was tied to a fence out in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, it's a horrible story. So that is when I was in college and when I came out, and I decided that I needed to come out because that needed to be that was not okay, and I wanted to help be a voice to stop that kind of. And so I came home from college, and I have the worst sense of humor, because I sat my mom down and I said to her, "So you know how I went to homecoming recently, and a dance?" And she said, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, my date's name was Jeff." And I just sat, I sat there, and she sat there and stared at me, and she didn't know what to say. So I went back to school that night. My dad called me the next morning and said, we don't agree with your decision, but you'll always be our son and we'll always support you. And, so I thought everything was, "Oh, thank you. That's, great." Which is it's never that easy, right? Ever that easy. And it was probably and then your first boyfriend pays for it, because your parents like, yeah, nope, nope, okay, get him out. So, excuse me, sorry.
It's okay.
So it took it took a couple years. It took 3 or 4 years for them to get really on board with it, and now everything's fine and great, and I'm grateful for that, because I know not everyone has that same experience. So I'm grateful for the relationship I have with them now.
Good one. Next question for you is, how long can you go without checking your phone?
Okay, there's 2 answers. If I've left it at home, as long as I've left it. The second answer is, it's really, and this is an excuse, so it's total bullshit. I have hair business, which people contact me through my phone. I have a spiritual metaphysical store, which people contact us through there all the time. I have my personal business, which people contact me through for readings and things. So all of it is done through the phone. So because I've been programmed to do this, I feel like I have to be constantly available to other people, and I'm trying to change that in my life. So I'm trying to go like at least an hour without checking the phone. And I tried to do a technology fast, a social media fast. That shit only lasted about 5 hours, because immediately someone contacted me about a business I had. I also have 4 podcasts. So that all happens to contact me through there as well. So I can't really be away from the stupid thing. I need an assistant.
Welcome to the club. That's how my life is as well. My God, I never thought one day I would be working through social media, through my phone, like all the time. I've never been like very into social media, but now since I started the show, it's my
tool, you know what I mean, of my job. So it's impossible not to be involved.
It's absolutely
Totally agree.
impossible nowadays to not have your hand or your little whatever in Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook, and like I've tried to get off Facebook, and if I did not have a business or businesses, I could do it, but because it's such a business platform, I can't get away from it.
And I'm so glad you didn't get out of Facebook, because now I managed to contact you through there.
Yes,
See?
yes. And thank you again for doing your show, and thank you again for inviting me. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks. Right, I have 3 questions left for you. Okay, let's do
Perfect.
it. For the next question, Ken, of course, it's visible, your tattoos in your face, and something that's, you know what I mean, it's as soon as you appear, I'm sure it's the first thing people see it. Tell me a positive situation that people, they come up to you randomly and said how much they liked your tattoos in your face, how much they, you know what I mean, the art behind the creativity. And tell me a negative story that somebody approached you, or you felt a bit uncomfortable with the look, or something, if you can share.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing I'm constantly amazed at is, okay, so I don't have children. My sister does, and I helped raise them and a little bit, and so they're now in their mid-20s. So that's my connection to the next generation, right? So I don't have a lot of connection to teenagers now, but I really love that a lot of times I get, especially out here, these teenagers who have like this great artistic expression of their makeup and their hair, and they want to express themselves, and they want to embrace their individuality, and they come up to me and they say, "Oh my God, I love your tattoos." Like, and so for me, I think that's one of the best things I get from people, is the opportunity to connect with the generation that I have no connection with, and to help inspire them to keep going and being who they are. So for me, that would be like, those are the best times when people bring out my tattoos. And so, okay. I literally have had, and this is not going to be my only example, but I literally have had people walking toward me on the street, cross the street, and go down the other side.
Wow.
Because most of the time, facial tattoos are what has been called institutional, right? Like you get them while you're in prison. And I've never been to prison, and I hope that I never have to go there. And I think people associate that a lot. So sometimes it works. For me, the best thing it does too is it immediately eliminates the people I don't want in my life. So that it's a really easy checkout for them. I do, however, like, one of my podcasts is called Manly Minds, and it's a straight buddy of mine and I who we're kind of, I don't know that he knows this, but we're diving into toxic masculinity and trying to break down the bull, right? So that's my goal. And it's happening for both of us. So we constantly get these comments on social media, right? Which I love so much, that are like, man, did you just draw those on your face? What's up with your stupid tattoos? Like, and it's just ridiculous stuff, like trolls on the internet who, when you go to click through that to their page, there is no page, right? So it just is, those are the ones that, they don't bug me, but those are like the worst ones. And most people really, they're too afraid to say anything. They're afraid I'll kick their ass, maybe. I don't know, something.
Cool. So at least you see the positive way as well. You said something very interesting, that people, if they kind of don't, the first impression, they don't see it yourself, they just go away. So you just push away through your, you know what I mean, of your life. So that's important point.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Next question for you is, what does success mean to you?
What does success mean to me? Success means, for me, that that I don't have any regrets.
Good one. Wow, what an answer. Wow. You go to sleep in your pillow like full of like, you know what I mean, like serenity.
Yep. Yeah. No regrets.
Very good. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Next question for you is, when was the last time that you laughed so hard that made you cry, or you couldn't stop laughing, something genuinely?
So I went to a friend's party. Now this is several years ago, so we're still laughing about this. But I'm pretty like uncultured as far as like, what's the bath towel and what's the hand towel, right? So we had gone to their house and I had used their restroom and I washed my hands, but I used the bath towel to dry my hands. Well, I go outside and we're sitting around and she comes out and she's like, okay, which one of you mother doesn't know how to use the right towel? And I didn't raise my hand, but like, I thought, oh God, this is really something. Like, people get really irritated by not using the right hand towel. So then like, I didn't say anything. So then she proceeds to post about it on Facebook and says, who doesn't know how to use the right goddamn towel? And so finally, I'm like, I just raised my hand. I'm like, it was me. And then she started laughing. She's like, you're the gay one. I thought out of everyone who would be there, you would be the last person. So it's something that we've laughed about like for years now. And I tell the story and it's not really funny, so I'm sorry. But it's one of the funniest things that ever happened, because it was, I don't know. The expectations of being gay are kind of hard to live up to.
Is that situation? Did you come back to the same house and use the right one or not? Yeah, had opportunity.
I don't go into the bathroom there anymore. I go out behind their garage and I pee, and then I just pray that I didn't piss on my hands. Yeah.
That's funny. Ken, ready for the last one?
Yes.
Let's do it. Last question.
All right.
But before the last question, tell me what's the best part of being a spiritual guide, or you know what I mean? And what's the most challenging part?
I would say those are good questions. So the most challenging part, I think, for me is, and this is not for everyone else, it's for me as well, is coming to the point where you remember that you don't need someone to intercede for you to connect to the divine. So whatever that looks like, we don't necessarily need, a savior to do it for us. I think that puts us into a space of not being empowered, right? Like, I can't do it without something else, but guess what? You can, because you are already that. So I think that's the most challenging thing about it, is helping people and helping myself sometimes even get to that point where I remember, and where we can remember, that we don't need someone else to do it for us. We actually have that ability to do it ourselves. We might not have the ability always to heal ourselves or to connect with our ancestors, and that's okay, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about understanding the concept that you are divine and that you have a connection to the divine. And so, leading into that, the best thing about working with people is when they do fall into that groove and they find the part of them that is always connected to the divine, that is always connected to the other world, the non-physical world, and that they realize they're way more powerful than they ever thought they were.
Good, very good. Last question for you is, what do you consider most romantic?
The most romantic thing someone can do for me is just make time in their schedule for me.
Oh.
Yeah, time, face-to-face time is very important to me. Like, text is fine for like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, do you want to meet here? Hey, great. But I want to have, like, look into their eyes and like hold hands or touch and have this connection that is only done, I think, really in close proximity. Probably the older I get, the deeper I crave one-on-one FaceTime with people. And it can be friends or family too. Like it doesn't have to be romantic, but if I'm looking for a partner, it's those moments where we can be in a crowded room, but no one else is there. Like we're there together and we're there having this moment that is way more romantic to me than a beach walk or a hike in the mountains or, candle lights on a bare rug, which also is fine too. But
beautiful. Right, it's not the end yet. Okay, let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words and you just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
Life.
Hard.
Ooh. Money.
Fluid.
Love.
Passion.
Family.
Selfless.
Sex.
Fun.
Politics.
Enraging.
Religion.
Sacrifice.
Fear.
Emotion.
Friendship.
Worth it.
Desire.
Sex.
Ooh.
Regrets. That was the clean word. Sorry. Sex was the clean word I was thinking of. So I'm sorry. Okay. Next.
Regrets.
Love.
Success.
No regrets.
Okay. Wish.
Stars.
Happiness.
Smiling.
One word for USA.
Home.
One word for hairstylist.
Enhance.
One word for spiritual guide.
Important.
And the last one now, tattoos.
Deep.
Interesting, very interesting. Let's pretend now we're going to meet your lovely sister for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, define Kenn in one positive word and one negative word only. What do you think your sister would define you?
Oh, she's gonna say I'm competitive, but I'm not really competitive. I just like to win. She's gonna say I'm very competitive, and she'll say it in regards to her, so that will be a negative thing. For a positive thing, she would probably say that I know she would, that everyone likes me. Everyone likes you. You don't have to do anything. Everyone likes you. I'm like,
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet.
Yeah.
I'm sure she means it. I'm sure she means it. She means.
She does.
I'm sure.
She does.
Okay.
She's a good person.
Yeah. Carry on.
Oh, she's a good person, and yeah, she does mean it, yeah. But remember, on my star chart, she's polar. She's my polar, because yeah.
Let's play now. Kenn and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. Before that, let's play the music one more time.
Okay.
Okay, Kenn, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, sir, I've been thinking about this, and it's a two-parter. Okay.
Okay.
I would like to know what your favorite time of the day is and why.
Very good question. Wow, I love it. And it's very easy and simple as well. I love mornings. I'm an early bird. When I wake up in the morning, you have no idea the happiness around my body, the happiness around my moods and everything. Of course, very slow, yeah. Before my shower in the morning, you don't recognize me. I'm the slowest person in the whole world. Like very slow, very like I'm counting the stars. But after my shower, believe me, I'm the most proactive person you can imagine. So yes, morning for me, early morning, it's for me the best part of my day because it's where everything is starting again. It's a new opportunity. I just love it. I've always been very connected with mornings. You know, it's funny sometimes. My colleagues at work, they go like, "My God, really? Where did you take the energy so early in the morning?" I don't know. It's just for me. It's just like everything fresh, everything nice. You know what I mean? For me, the best part of my day is the early morning.
I love that answer. I do. That is not me. I'm a night owl, so yeah, that would make me. I can be, but like where I'm at now, right? It's like 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm still drinking coffee, trying to get going. Where it's like night, and you're about, you're almost done. But no, I love that. That's great. I think it tells me. Actually, it's spot on with how I know you from your show. Like this bubbly, like very energetic morning, fresh, new, inquisitive, like beautifully wondering person, like, and I think so it makes sense that you're a morning person. So thank you. I like that. Good answer.
Oh, thanks so much. Oh, I've done already over 400 people. No one asked this question yet. Very good. I love it.
Yay.
I love it.
Coffee
Kenn,
helps.
thanks so much for the interview. It was a pleasure connecting with you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you didn't go off Facebook, because as soon as I connect with you, we've been trying to do the interview, and I think everything happened at the right time. And I'm just so happy that we connected now. I think it was good fun. I really enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time as well.
I had a great time. Yes, timing is everything. One. Two, keep doing the show. I love it. I love getting to know these people that you interview, and I love getting to know their perspective and how it broadens my own from being a very small town, rural Utah, daily life to the gentleman who is it John from Dublin, whose partner lives in the UK, in England.
Yes.
I loved that interview. And that was a great interview, and it was very interesting to hear his perspective on some things. I love it. I love that you do people from all over the world. So thank you again for including me, and thank you for spending time with me today. I have had a great time.
The pleasure is all mine. Believe me. But before you go, I would like to share a positive message, something that inspires your life.
So the latest one I found happened normally I would say the journey is the destination. But one that I've really latched onto in the last week is danger is real, fear is an emotion, know the difference.
Very good, very good.
I loved that one. Yeah, it's been sitting with me a lot, and I've been trying to understand my decision-making process from a different perspective now, as far as danger and fear and knowing the difference between the two.
Very good, very good. Kenn, it was a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Sure, thank you.
Thanks so much. All the best and keep in touch. Keep in touch.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Take care. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye, Kenn.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.